Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about a very important subject that I've received a lot of questions on lately, and that is, can a relationship be saved after cheating? This is not a very pleasant subject to talk about, but I feel it's worth mentioning. Apparently, there's a lot of people out there that are hurting, and this is a question that has been asked very often. So I'm going to dive right in and let's talk about this. The betrayal of trust erodes the relationship and could permanently affect the relationship even after reconciliation because trust is the foundation of a friendship. And once that trust is violated, it can sometimes be very difficult to rebuild. Many couples have still ended the relationship after years of reconciliation and counseling when one partner was not able to get past the cheating. So it's different for every relationship. Some couples can reconcile and restore trust, and move forward successfully, while others may try to reconcile for a few years and still decide to terminate the relationship. There is no right or wrong answer. In the case of marriages where there is cheating, it becomes more complicated, especially when children are involved. A common question asked is, should both spouses stay married for the sake of their children? Most professional counselors feel that it's not healthy to stay married if both spouses are not willing to put forth the effort to work on the relationship to rebuild the trust. Now, if both are willing to work together to improve and heal their marriage, then yes, absolutely stay married. However, if one or both partners do not love each other anymore and do not want to work on their relationship, then it's in the best interest of the whole family to end the marriage. Okay, contrary to the old days of our parents' generation, where the past traditional thinking was to stay married for the sake of the kids, there has been new research that suggests it's not healthy in the long run to stay married for the sake of the kids. According to according to psychologytoday.com, their Ap- their April 25th, 2024 article online states that there are three problems with a couple staying together for the kids. The first is staying together for the kids can do more harm than good. The second is seeing parents in an unhappy marriage has negative consequences for children. And the third is that the consequences of being raised by an unhappy couple have long-term impacts on a child's well-being. Okay, so these are three key points in summary. So feel free to read more about each point online if you're interested in finding out the details for each point. And like I said, I found this on psychologytoday.com of in their April 25th, 2024 article. Okay. Counseling sometimes can help. I think it's important for the counselor to work with the partners and find out the root cause of why the cheating partner cheated. If it's just a matter of whether that partner is not willing or comfortable to resolve conflicts, then that's something both partners can work on to be more transparent and vulnerable in their communications. The counselor can then help them build stronger communication skills so both parties feel safe to express feelings and to feel understood to resolve issues. Going outside the relationship to avoid conflicts never solves the problems because it only creates worse problems like major trust issues. Okay, so I'm just proposing this is maybe one of the reasons why people cheat. Uh, Now I know some of you. Now, what I want to say here is that I don't condone cheating at all. I don't think there's any justification why that would validate cheating. Okay, I don't believe in cheating. I think it's not the right thing. It's not a right course of action. Um, However, I know people that have been cheated on often wonder what caused the cheating. So I just want to address a couple of things that I feel that may have contributed to the cheating, but by no means am I excusing it. Okay, I just want to put that out there. So again, a lot of times people are not comfortable resolving conflict. Okay, as a matter of fact, I don't know anybody who's really comfortable in confronting, problems and addressing them. It's not a normal thing that we human beings like to deal with. It's very unpleasant. However, in a healthy, loving relationship, that's a skill that everyone needs to learn. Everyone needs to learn how to communicate effectively and to resolve conflicts in a healthy manner. It's a very important skill, and yes, it is going to put us out of our comfort zone. Okay, it's never comfortable to confront a situation. Okay, but to build strong relationship, that's what's required. One or both parties, actually both parties, need to be able to learn to get comfortable with communicating. And I don't mean confronting in a necessarily a harsh way. Okay, there's a way to communicate. There's a way to confront issues in a gentle manner that's non-threatening, uh, so that both partners can talk things over and resolve and try to resolve whatever issues there are. Okay. If the cheating partner doesn't love or respect his or her partner, then it may be a greater hurdle to overcome. Respect and love are what motivate people to work problems out and not cheat. And again, it gets complicated because the couple may have poor communication skills and have caused the relationship to become toxic. And once a relationship becomes toxic, it just adds another layer of problems that if one or both partners choose to ignore their problems, then that's how cheating can happen. So every situation is not black and white. There are a lot of gray areas when it comes to each relationship. And that's why it's difficult to answer the question, can a relationship be saved after cheating? Another issue that is worth mentioning is emotional cheating. And that means the cheating partner may not have physically cheated on his or her partner, meaning being physical intimate and having sex, but being emotionally intimate with someone outside the relationship, meaning sharing emotions, personal feelings, and flirting. And this behavior is not acceptable either. Okay, so um, I just want to say that emotional cheating is also just as bad as physical cheating. They both are destructive to a relationship, and it both they both cause a lack of trust in a relationship. And this behavior is not acceptable either. Emotional cheating is just as destructive as physical cheating because both cause a lack of trust in the relationship. In these situations, most often it's because the partners have failed to communicate and stop being friends. Okay, so when it comes to emotional cheating, I just want to stop here and say that couples that do, uh, people that do emotionally cheat, it's because there there's a breakdown of the friendship, and they don't feel well, for whatever reason, they don't feel comfortable in going to their partner to resolve the conflict. So instead, they get frustrated, resentment builds. Normally, in these kind of situations, the friendship is already have deteriorated and both partners have their communication has become toxic. Okay. And when the relationship becomes toxic, the resentment starts to build and both partners just stop communicating with each other. Okay. And at this point, what should happen is both partners need to go to counseling. Okay. The relationship is definitely in trouble. When you get to the point where your relationship has become toxic, the relationship is in serious trouble. And I always recommend that couples seek counseling immediately. You don't want to let things fester or for resentment to build because that's how things get toxic. And then when that happens, the two are not even communicating anymore. They're not even on the same page. They're not even friends anymore. And that could also create this emotional cheating because some people, will go outside the relationship to vent and they'll vent to an opposite sex friend, whether it's a coworker or whoever, right? And it always starts out very innocently as just friends. But when you're emotionally sharing intimate personal issues of your relationship, um, oftentimes, the emotional cheating can turn into physical cheating. Okay, so it's just not a good situation, and it's a temptation that shouldn't be there if the partner didn't go outside the relationship to emotionally cheat. Okay. And this is why friendship is so crucial in the dating stages of a relationship. When cheating partners emotionally cheat, they are looking for a friend to vent, and sometimes it may lead to temptations of physically cheating when venting to an opposite sex friend, which I just talked about. With that said, whether it's physical or emotional cheating, they both result in trust issues and the breakdown of the relationship because the trust is the foundation of a friendship and the friendship is the foundation of a relationship. Let me say this again. With that said, whether it's physical or emotional cheating, they both result in trust issues and the breakdown of the relationship because trust is the foundation of a friendship and the friendship is the foundation of a relationship. So they all go hand in hand, folks. Um, and trust is very important. Okay. And without trust, you don't have a friendship. Without friendship, you don't have a relationship. So it's no wonder why when trust breaks down, the relationship is also broken down. Okay. I do believe it's critical that both partners seek counseling if they want to work things out. And the reason why I feel strongly about this is because the partners need to understand why the cheating happened. The counselor will help to identify the root cause. Without knowing the root cause, the cheating can happen again. And that's why many couples who skip going to counseling and try again on their own will often fail in attempts to rebuild trust because whatever was causing the cheating to begin with hasn't been addressed. So, if both partners are willing to try and rebuild a relationship, I think a professionally trained counselor can help them formulate a plan to heal the relationship. And if there are children involved, it may be worth the effort to save the relationship. At that point, what do they have to lose, right? There is everything to gain if things work out. It's better to try if things don't work out. At least you gave it your best shot and have no regrets later, right? So, for those of you who've been married for a very long time and you have children, it is definitely worth both of you if you both are willing to put forth the effort and you both still love each other. It's worth it to go to counseling and try to get to the root cause of the problem and resolve the problem. Okay? Um and if things don't work out, at least your conscience can both be cleared that both gave it your best shot. Right? The worst situation is not to try and then years later always wonder and regret whether if you did try, could things have turned out positive, right? You just never know. So being that you both have invested so much time already in your relationship, in your marriage, it's definitely worth trying. And at the very least, if things don't work out, at least you can say you both tried and then you won't have any regrets and your conscience will be clear. So ultimately, the aftermath of cheating is painful and overwhelming. Major decisions need to be made as to whether the partners stay together or permanently end their relationship. There is no right or wrong answer. And if a decision is made to stay together and years later one of the partners still can't get over the cheating, despite trying hard and going to counseling, then the partner can always make another decision. At least the partner tried to make it work, but sometimes, even when people do their best to forgive and move forward, it still may be very difficult to forget. Cheating can be very traumatizing for some people, and restoring trust just can't be done. On the other hand, I've heard that there are couples who are able to restore the trust and rebuild a relationship. So it's that's why this question can't not be answered one way or another because it all depends on the individuals involved. And and I just want to say, folks, for those of you who have tried and after a year or 2 or 3 years, you still can't find yourself, you still can't seem to forget or you can't seem to forgive and you just can't get past the cheating. It's okay to make another decision. And if that means ending the relationship, then that's what you have to do. Okay, I know uh, you know it's we just don't know sometimes how things are going to go, right? We can put in our best foot forward. We can put our best effort into trying to make things work, even with counseling, right? Even with working on things with your partner. But, you know, trust is a very serious issue. And for some people, it's not easy to just trust again, even with help and counseling and trying to rebuild with your partner. So don't be hard on yourself. We're only human, right? Some couples are able to manage and forgive and forget and move on and strengthen their relationship. But then there are some people that just can't. And I don't want you guys to beat yourself up if you can't get over or get past cheating. Um, we're all unique individuals. We all uh, are entitled to how we feel. And so at least if you try for a period of time, it doesn't work out, make another decision. Okay. You can make two decisions in your life. Okay. I think a lot of times people think that once they make a decision, they're committed to that decision and they feel like they can never make another one again. And that's kind of foolish, right? Life is too short, folks. If you are just can't get past things, you're just miserable every day, that's not going to help the relationship anyway if you're not happy, right? So again, if you gave it your best shot, if things don't work out, make another decision. Okay? In summary, can a relationship be saved after cheating? The answer will depend on the partners involved because each relationship and the partners within the relationship are unique. So the bottom line is the partners need to do what is in their best interest to feel safe, peaceful, and happy. Okay, folks. Um, I hope this resonates with some of you or all of you. Uh, if you like this video, please click like and click share. Uh, please put comments below. For those of you who have succeeded in rebuilding your relationship, please put your comments below and let all of us know how you managed to rebuild that trust. And for those of you who did not succeed in rebuilding, please put that below also. I think this is a very important subject that's worth all of us learning from each other and to gather as much information as we can because it's such a big decision. And it's such a huge issue, a very painful issue that that some of us have to deal with when we've gone through this infidelity with our partners, right? So I welcome all your comments. Whatever you can, whatever your thoughts are on whether a relationship can be saved after cheating, please put your comments below so we all can read about it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified of all my upcoming videos. So I just want to say thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again soon. Okay, bye.